What's going on, Leo? I hope you are doing very well. This is the Autistic Mystic, and this is going to be a reading for March 2022. So in this reading, Leo, we're going to take a look at your overall general energy for the month. We're going to take a look at some things you do not see coming for the month, and we're also going to get into much more. So you are all most definitely very welcome here, Leo, in this space with me as we move through this reading. Thanks a lot in advance for taking the time to check out the reading. I do really appreciate all of you. If you find that it resonates with you here, Leo, don't forget to like and subscribe as well. I would also really appreciate that. But without further ado here, let's go ahead and jump in to your March 2022 energies. So give me a second and we'll see what wants to come through. As always, I'd like to thank the angels, the interdimensional beings, and the spirit guides for overseeing this act of divination for Leo. Two more here. March energy for the sign of Leo, please. All right, let's see what we got going on here for you, Leo. Okay, Leo. Super interesting energy that you got coming through here for you. I feel like a lot of you guys could be thinking about switching your job. If that resonates with you, Leo, I think that this reading is definitely for you. In your overall energy for March, we have the Four of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and also the Five of Pentacles here. Okay, so there certainly is some sort of unfinished business that you're going to run into here in March. The Nine of Wands represents like a battle that you still need to overcome, something that's been getting to you, but you may not have been really dealing with it like head on. And the Four of Swords comes right before this Nine of Wands. So it's almost like I feel for you, Leo. It's like some sort of inclination or feeling like you need to move in a certain direction that you've been putting off that really in March is going to kind of like get your attention is kind of what I feel. And for a lot of you, this could have to do with finance and shifting either where you're living. It could be a relationship, but for a lot of you, I'm sensing it has to do with a job actually, Leo. So you have the Five of Pentacles in your overall general energy. I just keep getting, like, for some of you, you may be switching a job this year. So we're going to have to clarify what this is about. This could have to do with a relationship that you've been hanging on to that just isn't working anymore. But for a lot of you, this is career, like life purpose, like job type of energy. We move down here to what you don't see coming. You have the Ten of Pentacles to the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles. So for a lot of you who are working in a job that just pays the bills, it's some sort of Ten of Pentacles legacy system that you're plugged into. This could be like getting money from family or like however you're supported financially. I think the centerpiece to your reading, guys, Leo, guys and girls or whoever you are, is the Eight of Swords. So I think there's a deep realization that you no longer want to be trapped in some sort of system with the Ten of Pentacles to the Eight of Swords here. It's like, once again, you've been trying to put it off for some of you. Now, for some of you, this could be a marriage or it could be some sort of long-term system, but like you have the Nine of Pentacles here as well and what you don't see coming. And I think this is more so into your future. Like, it's almost like you guys are going to be admitting that you want something completely different when it comes to your life purpose, career, financially, even a relationship for some of you. But it's like this feeling of being super, super trapped and like finally admitting it to yourself, Leo, is kind of what I sense here, right? The Nine of Pentacles, some of you could have a really good idea that just seems risky because you have the Five of Pentacles right above this Nine of Pentacles. So I do sense like a lot of you have a plan or at least some sort of rough draft of an idea about what you could do to change this energy, but I just sense a lot of fear behind it. Excuse me. So we're going to have to really dig deep and see what that's all about in a moment, Leo. But let's go ahead and move down to the advice from your spirit guides. We have the Ten of Swords here, okay? The Ten of Swords, so it's right underneath this Ten of Pentacles, so how synchronistic is that? There's some sort of system that needs to go bye-bye in your life, Leo, right? It's come to an end. You may have been trying to avoid this realization for a long time, but the Ten of Swords, the advice is to end this and look out into the future, okay, with the Three of Wands. It's all about, being very optimistic, setting your future plan. I think it has to do with this Nine of Pentacles for some of you. Like, you're seeking more independence. Now, you do have the Emperor as well in the advice position, Leo, so I do think Spirit is calling you to really confront this issue head on and face it like a man, so to speak, or just use that divine masculine power to face this. Some of you may be disconnecting from an Emperor, right? Because you have the Ten of Swords to the Emperor. This could even be a boss within the Ten of Pentacles system that's causing you a lot of negativity, unfinished business. Like, I get the feeling like a lot of you have been keeping your mouth shut, but something is no doubt coming to an end here, and it's pretty big. It's a pretty big transition. Now, the funny thing about this reading, Leo, is that there's only one major Arcana card, and it happens to be the Emperor here. Some of you could be dealing with an Aries in love or just in your work life, but this is all to do with practical matters, like your day. So this month for you in March is going to be less about the spiritual downloads and deep realizations, and more so, of course, this shift has to do with your soul and what you want to do, but it's more so practical. So don't be afraid to get into the nitty gritty in March, Leo, is what I would say here, and practically, powerfully take physical action to change your life, because they say physical action is the language of physical reality. I think a lot of you guys have been getting downloads that it's time to actually just be creative and put them into practice, if that makes sense. But let's go ahead and start clarifying some of these cards in your reading, Leo. So the first card that I think we're going to clarify is this Nine of Wands. All right, why is this Nine of Wands here in your overall general energy in March? It's coming through as like something you've been putting off, that you cannot do it anymore. It's like an intuition you've been trying to bury with certain addictions, right? With the Eight of Swords, you may be trapped in certain negative cycles, even though I think a lot of you guys have awareness of this, and awareness is the key. So I think I'm talking to a lot of individuals who have a lot of self-awareness, which is always helpful in these readings. I'm not like feeling like I'm breaking something to you that like you have no idea about, Leo. Maybe for some of you, but yeah, so you have the Transformation card to clarify the Nine of Wands. This is an issue that needs to end, right? It's that Ten of Swords, like a complete death. So funny enough, this is a major Arcana card in the Osho Zen Tarot deck, Leo. So what that tells me is that this is something to do with the soul. Like whatever's been bugging you, I think a lot of you, it's a career. You may just have to quit your job here. Like it's just what I'm getting. Like some of you may have to do that, go into the unknown and really manifest an amazing life, because all of us are born to be abundant. Abundance is here for us. It's just that we have all these programs running from the system or from the matrix that want to keep us just mindless kind of cogs in a system, So you're meant to break out of a bigger system with that Ten of Pentacles here. Let's also go ahead and I think this Five of Pentacles is maybe fear, like, or some of you are going to make a big jump and then you're going to be left kind of like figuring out how can I live now that I let go of this income or whatever, that safety net. It's like letting go of a safety net for a lot of you. Let's clarify this Ten of Pentacles in your what you don't see coming. I think for a lot of you, Leo, though, I don't think you saw it escalating as much as it's going to here in March. I think a lot of you are like, yeah, well, maybe one day I'll quit my job. And then like in March, you're going to be like, oh my Lord. Or if it's like even a relationship, yeah, you have existence. So pondering reality, thinking deeper about where you fit into the grand scheme of the universe. And I think for a lot of you, it's not where you are, okay? But why is the Ten of Pentacles here for Leo in March in what they don't see coming? In what you don't see coming, Leo? Okay, The Ten of Pentacles is clarified by the flowering card. This is kind of like the Queen of Pentacles in traditional tarot. So there's a really interesting like thing that's coming to me. You guys have certainly benefited from some sort of system, okay? So the Ten of Pentacles to clarify the Queen of Pentacles, you guys may have a lot to lose by leaving this behind, like in terms of physical security, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles, we think about someone who is very abundant in the physical realm. So you've certainly benefited from this. However, there's a shift from relying on some sort of legacy system into creating your own, right? The Nine of Pentacles is all about independence, Leo, rather than being a queen. A queen is great, but sometimes the queen is always going to be like, has a lot of responsibilities in a big system. You may want to shed these responsibilities because it's like, it's not your thing. It just doesn't light you up. So let's go ahead and also get more information about this Eight of Swords. Queen of Pentacles, really interesting. Yeah, so this has to do with practical shifting. Okay, so before I can even get going, I said Eight of Swords, and we have the Breakthrough card, a major arcana card, so I like to see that. So although this is a practical shift, it has to do with your soul. The Eight of Swords clarified by the Breakthrough, it's pretty self-explanatory here. Leo, it's like your soul can't stand it. It's suddenly, in March, maybe it suddenly becomes more painful to stay where you are. And less painful to actually leave. Like, we all have a pain-pleasure mechanism, like a motivational mechanism, and every single human being walking the planet will move towards something they believe will give them pleasure, and they will move away from something they believe will give them pain. So it's almost like you guys are starting to get more pain than pleasure from whatever legacy system that you're in. Let's also clarify this Nine of Pentacles, though, because this is what you don't see coming. This could be just like you realizing, like, oh my God, I can do it on my own, or I can start this new vision, whatever it is I want to create. Some of you may be staying in the system to a certain degree, but then just changing your relationship to it is very possible. Okay, very possible. Why is this Nine of Pentacles here, though, for Leo? Okay, we have a pretty big jumper. 1 second. I had to reach all the way down to get it. So the Nine of Pentacles is clarified by the Mind card, guys. The Mind card. Okay, so this is you're very in your head. I feel like there's a lot of self-doubt about whether or not you can actually successfully create this successful vision for yourself. Because if I'm just being honest, Leo, like, I'm going to call you out on one of your shadows right now. I'm going to call you out on one of your shadows, because this is going to be true for some of you, not for all of you. Some of you will already have done what I'm saying. So the Four of Swords here, right, in your overall energy, I think, like, you guys could have been, like, working on things to accelerate this shift in your life to move away from this legacy system, but it's almost like some of you have had your head in the sand about it, and so now, instead of a smooth transition, you have this Five of Pentacles in the mind with the Nine of Pentacles. Like, you realize, oh shit, now I have to put in the legwork to actually make this work, to make this shift happen. So it's almost like for some of you, you're trying to make up for lost time. But I wouldn't worry about that. Even if that's you, just start from where you are, because time is going to pass anyway. So I'm not trying to, like, bring you down by saying that. I'm just trying to simply bring something to your awareness so that next time you can think forward and not procrastinate about something. Procrastination, you know, it's a weird frequency. And there's reasons that you do it. So let's go ahead and move down here. Okay, we have one more card. The Misser. Yeah, so you guys, this is definitely a theme. The mind, like, fear of poverty. One of the 6 ghosts of fear, major, like, one of the biggest fears human beings have is poverty. And it keeps people trapped. So I think for, like, you, like, if I was just giving you practical advice, Leo, we're going to have to see when the Oracle cards come out. I would say, like, maybe give yourself some time here. Like, maybe the wise thing, maybe you do have to walk away, right? If you're in, like, any sort of abusive relationship, I would say cut the cords right away. But other than that, you might have to give yourself some time to really work this out in your mind and kind of alleviate yourself of these negative beliefs that say, I can't actually support myself in a new way. So make sure you mentally prepare yourself for supporting yourself in a new way, if that makes sense, Leo. Let's go ahead and move down here. Why is this Ten of Swords here in the advice from Spirit? Why is the Ten of Swords here in the advice from Spirit for Leo? Why is the Ten of Swords here in the advice position for Leo in March? Okay. So the Ten of Swords is clarified by the Three of Swords. Yeah, isolation. It's kind of like heartbreak, feeling really, really like this ending. The message, like it's not going to be an easy ending for you to do here. You're going to feel potentially isolated from people. You might have to cut off a lot of relationships. You might be afraid of what other people are thinking about you doing this, Leo. But I would say that it's happening for a reason. Like you may have to go through some isolation. And it's just part of the game, Leo. So I wouldn't be afraid of that. It's like a very real fear, like being in a position where there's no one to support you. But trust me, the universe always sends someone, Leo. I swear to God. Like if I could promise you one thing, if you have the guts and the visceral commitment to go with the direction the universe is pushing you in, the universe always sends someone, because synchronicity is the way. It's not a philosophy, it's simply physics. So you need to make this ending for real. Even if you're going to be isolated, it's still worth it. You're going to meet someone new, even if it doesn't seem like it right now, Leo. Now, let's go ahead and clarify this Emperor card as well in your advice from Spirit. Why is this Emperor card here? This is like kind of saying maybe like toughen up, like, or you're with someone who's a narcissist, the Emperor, like, so it's better to be alone than with them. You may have to discover who you are, right? Like the Three of Wands, like, who am I? Who am I? Like, I'm Leo, but what do I want to do with my life now? Like a lot of questions that you have to ask yourself going forward. Why is the Emperor card here, though, for Leo? Okay, the Emperor card is clarified by the Possibilities card, guys. So, yeah, this is the Two of Wands now to the Three of Wands. Same reading, same slot. Emperor, very like energy. So this is, I think, for you, Leo, this is about having hope for the future and not letting your immediate circumstances completely dictate your emotional field, because this is the trap that people get into. If your emotions and your spiritual state of being is completely dependent on external circumstances, you'll never truly be happy, because life is chaos. Things are always happening. But if you can rely on something much deeper, and you can tap into your consciousness and say, I'm not going to let external circumstances dictate my inner state. I am going to hold a vision for the future. That's what you need to do here, Leo, when it comes to this. Like, very disciplined, though, because, like, I've, like, a spiritual thing that I do besides, like, tarot is visualization. I'm big on it. It's one of my spiritual things that I've really worked out. Like, I've mastered visualization. Like, I've got it to a point where I was horrible at it at first, but then it took discipline to get to the point. But it's really important for you to hold the vision. Like, most people just think about their past, or they think about what they don't want. They're focused on their anxiety. You got to tune that out. And that is the battle of life. That is why you came to Earth, to become an alchemist and not let these things completely dictate. Because then you'll learn. It's like, it's Leo, it's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Because, like, don't let circumstances govern how you feel, because your point of attraction is always in play. Focus on what you want to create instead of what's happening, is what the advice is. It's not bypassing for you to do that in this specific situation, Leo. So with that being said, let's go ahead and conclude this reading by getting some angel messages, some messages from your angels and spirit guides. Just based on everything we said, I just want some closing messages, anything that wants to come through. 3 quick shuffles for Leo, anything that wants to come through. We have in the near future. So some of you may want to take your time with this, but we have in the near future. Pretty interesting. Let's see what we got going on here for you, Leo. In the near future, remain positive and peaceful resolution. Yeah, this goes beautifully with your reading, I think, Leo. So, in the near future and remain positive is all about this Emperor, Two of Wands, Three of Wands energy. And I read chronologically, so the fact that this is in the corner, like the last pocket of your reading, shows that this is what it's going to be going forward for you, beyond that of just the idea of March. Remain positive and in the near future. Okay, this is the piece of what Spirit wanted to tell you. So, although you're going through a big transition right now, you may be feeling isolated, things are going to turn out for the better because you have peaceful resolution, right? You can't get more clear. So you guys are going through something, leaving, maybe taking a big risk, right? Because you have the Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Ten of Swords, this row. But I think peaceful resolution is what you need to hold. Like, there's a big idea of holding the most positive outcome in your heart, Leo. But with that being said, if you want more information on your situation, Leo, feel free to book a personal reading with me. You can find all the information on that in the description box underneath this video. It's always an honor to work with you guys one-on-one. It's so fun. But either way, I appreciate every single one of you. I hope that you appreciated the reading, and I hope that you have a great March, Leo. So I'll talk to you next week on your next reading. And this is the Autistic Mystic. Peace.